Alright, we are on the draw here. Match 3 of this league. We're going to keep this. Pretty good hand. We have some nice interaction. We can shoal, we can bolt. Hopefully we don't have to shoal because that means we get to visions. The opponent shocks with the steam vents and passes the turn. Well, we're probably going to respond in kind. We drew this flooded strand, which I kind of want to play out. On the other hand, maybe we just keep that because we don't need to play it for a while, so it's not really going to interfere with our vision scry here. And it allows us to get the second red source or second green source as we see fit. So it's entirely possible saving the flooded strand is actually better in this case. Plus, we just might not want 4 lands in play. At which point, saving the life matters. The opponent going to opt in response, asserting their dominance here. Chart, of course, seems really good given how slow our hand is liable to be, and I'd say Snapcaster Mage is going to go to the bottom too, just because, well actually, is that a good idea? Because we can flash back a Serum Visions, and it does look like Steam Vents opt. This is the kind of matchup in which you want to flash back a Serum Visions. We put Snapcaster Mage on top, we draw it next turn, we just play an island and say go. If we bottom it, we can hope for better. Really, I want to find a Goyf or something that I can slam on too. I think we're just going to top this though to have a nice turn 3 play. Seems good. Snap Visions, it's not bad. That's for sure. Let's see what the opponent's up to. Shivan Reef smells like storm. Baral. Okay, well. Kind of makes me glad we have that Snapcaster Mage on top, because we are going to play out an island, bolt Baral, and hold up Shoal Pitch Snap. Now, here's a fun question. Do I actually want to do something different? I'm going to bolt first, I think, just in case they have something funky. If they somehow go Simian Spirit Guide, Manamorphose, Remand, I want to be able to Flooded Strand, get another Steam Vent, and cast the Bolt again. So I think we're going to start with this. I do want that Baral to die. That's step 1. Question is land drop. We scried a... I don't remember what it was. Chart a Course. We scried a Chart a Course to the bottom. It's not that bad. I don't hate drawing that Chart a Course sooner or later. I'll play out this fetch. Against Storm, I kind of want to get my double red. Have any of you guys checked out the meta on MTG Goldfish these days? Sleight of hand is fine. I'm going to pull it up real quick. It looks fantastic. I really hope this is indicative of the metagame. The top deck at roughly 7% is Jeskai Tempo. So I'm obviously a fan. We're going to grab another Steam Vents here. A lot more likely we need double green than double red in this matchup. What do we got? Tarmogoyf. Well, that's going to be cast. Gonna hold up Snap Pitched to Shoal here. Not really anything better to do. Unfortunately, Forked Bolt isn't an instant. Second place, we have Blue-Red Gift Storm. What we're playing against right now. They shocked. Ooh, this should be exciting. Electromancer. I think we just counter that. If they have a Remand here, they have to tap out. We're going to try to counter this. Exile Snapcaster Mage. We could let this resolve and hope they don't go off in time for us to Forked Bolt the Electromancer, but I think that's much worse. They're going to put Shoal back in our hand. Electromancer is going to resolve, and I have a feeling that Goyf's going to grow in a moment. No, it's not. Baral's already in the graveyard. That's lame. So anyways, Gift Storm in second place, roughly 7% as well. Third place, 5-color humans isn't that exciting. Forked Bolt this. Okay. Humans with 6.4% roughly of the metagame. We're going to take out that Electromancer, get in for 4, hold up Shoal, pitched for 1, or we tap out for Mandrills. That's interesting. How good is tapping out for Mandrills? How small does that make this Goyf? Creature, instant, sorcery. We can totally tap out, leave the Flooded Strand. Goyf's fine. That speeds up our clock. Right now, Disrupting Shoal can counter a cantrip. That's not very good. I think I'd rather do this. Think I'd rather speed up the clock. They know we have Shoal, so technically they don't actually know we're tapped out. They actually have at least some reason to believe we're holding up a counterspell right now, even though we're not. We can't interact with anything very meaningful anyways, though, so I don't really mind. They're going to Ritual a bunch of times. Hopefully they don't just have what they need. Is it a Gifts? It's a Gifts. I think we're dead. 3 mana in pool. I believe that means we're dead. Do think we took the right line, though, because we couldn't interact with this. So there's that. Okay, this is the classic Gifts pile. Manamorphose, 2 Rituals, and a Past in Flames. How do we want to view it? Let's do that. That looks kind of nice. So with 3 mana, if we give them Manamorphose and Past in Flames, they Manamorphose, they get to 4 mana, they Past in Flames, they're done. So if they don't have a land or another ritual, giving them Manamorphose and Past in Flames means we might make it out of this alive. Which is something I'm very interested in. How does it play out if we give them rituals? They use this ritual, they go up to down 1, up 3, 5 mana, down 1, up 3, 7 mana. Is that correct? Yes, each of these will add 2. They get to 7 mana. They play this for 5. No, they play this for... Oh, Baral's in play. They're going to play this for 4 after flashing it back, which gives them access to all of their spells again. With 3 mana in the pool, Ritual, 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 Manamorphose. Ah, they get to Cantrip. They get to Gifts Ungiven again, find a Grape Shot. That sucks. So we're going to revisit the Manamorphose line because it's something I didn't notice with Baral making Past in Flames less expensive. They Manamorphose, they gain 1 mana, they go to 4. We had to give them Past in Flames, which only costs 3. They have 1 mana left in the pool. They flash back all of their rituals, flash back some cantrips, flash back Gifts Ungiven, get Grape Shot, we're probably dead. So, do we let them use Manamorphose once or twice? Because they already have a boatload of mana. So I think we only want them to Manamorphose once. Just in case the card matters, I think that's better. The mana won't. The 1 mana won't. So, cards to go in the graveyard are going to be things that are not Manamorphose. So, Ritual, Past in Flames. Ritual, 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 Ritual. Putting Past in Flames in the graveyard, I don't think going to do much. So, we'll do that. That's unfortunate. MTGO now displaying the storm count because they know Manamorphose is going to draw them a card. Did I put the wrong things in the graveyard? I did. I wanted to give them the rituals so they could draw fewer cards. I ended up taking the other line. I doubt the 1 card's going to matter because they can ritual up to a boatload of mana and then flashback Gifts Ungiven. So it's not really relevant, the 1 card. We're going to see a Gifts Ungiven. They're going to get a bunch more cards. Storm count's already 12. It's not going to take much. If we did put the Past in Flames and the Manamorphose in the graveyard, though, that's 1 fewer Manamorphose they had. Which means they would have had trouble getting blue. Yeah, we wanted to put Manamorphose in the graveyard. Definitely. They would have had to Ritual, Ritual. No, that's still fine, though, because then they don't need to use the Manamorphose to get to the Past in Flames. So they still easily have blue for gifts, but they only get to gifts once because we would have put the Past in Flames in the graveyard. As is, they can flash this back, they can flash this back, as they please. Give them the mana this time. That's what we wanted to do previously. I clicked wrong. Don't think it matters at this point. The opponent has too much stuff. But if this Past in Flames was in the graveyard, they would have had to get another. So then we put the Past in Flames in the graveyard, but they can flash that back fine. So we're just dead 6 ways to Sunday here, folks. To their credit, our opponent had 3 accelerants, which is a pretty good way to get us dead. I'm just going to check to see that these are going face. Let the opponent do that, and then we are out of here. We're going to scoop. Face, 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 face. Yep, they know what they're doing. You know, just in case they decide they want to wipe our board instead. Give us a chance. How are we going to sideboard against Giftstorm with Chart and Shoal Delver? Pyromancer's going to come out. We're going to be boarding in some sweeper effects, and this is a pretty bad clock when you're boarding in sweeper effects. One Chart, of course, I think going to come out because we need to be a lot more reactive here. We don't really have time for 2 mana sorceries, I don't think. We're going to keep 1 just because I want to play it. I don't think it's going to be good. At least this way we get data sort of both ways. We can have our cake and eat it too. Simic Charm, Vapor Snag, Bounce Spells I don't really want. Simic Charm is notably better than Vapor Snag here because it can bolt the opponent in combat. Maybe Hexproof to save our board from a Grape Shot. I might bring that back in actually. Also Pitches to Shoal for 2. We're probably bringing that back in. Pyroclasm going to come in. One of the aforementioned sweepers. Mountain going to speed us up a bit. With the Traverse version, I'd be boarding out Traverse, but instead I guess we're boarding out Chart. That kind of makes sense. EE going to come in to help deal with tokens, maybe take out a Brawl, and a Flash Freeze. I guess that helps to cover the 2 CMC ground we lose, but is there something else we can cut? I don't want to cut a Thought Scour. Spell Snare is very good in this matchup. Our deck is just full of good cards. It's a good problem to have when your entire deck is cards that you want. I'm going to leave the Simic Charm here. I just want to get back to the metagame right now. It looks awesome. 7% Jeskai Tempo. 7% Blue-Red Giftstorm. 6 and a bit percent 5-color humans. The Vile Tempo version. So we have a Tempo deck, a Blue-Red combo deck, and a Tempo deck as the top 3 decks. And that excites me quite a bit. Green-Black Tron coming in with about 5.5 at number 4. And Affinity at roughly 5 in number 5. That's a cool looking meta. I'm excited, especially to see E-Tron go down, because Eldrazi Tron is not a good matchup for us. Jeskai Tempo, probably around even. Giftstorm, despite what happened here, I think quite favorable. Humans, on the fence. Tron, probably slightly favorable. Affinity, slightly unfavorable, but very fun. And we've actually been doing quite well against it in our last few matches, so who knows where that actually is. Maybe I overestimate how often they get the nut draw. Do I just cut a Mandrills? I feel like that's awful. I really want this Simic Charm. Nope. We're not going to do it. We're going to be disciplined. We're going to play first. I mean, we just keep this, right? It's by no means good, but I think we keep it. Turn 2, Goyf. And then turn 3, Stubborn Denial something looks at least somewhat good. Should I dig for bolts? I don't think so because this hand has pressure, but this is a very small Goyf. I'm going to mulligan this. That's better. We got rewarded. I like being rewarded. Turn 1, Scour. We're going to bottom that. Not that it actually matters due to the turn 1 Scour, but still. Pay shock. Go to the opponent. Oh, we can cast spells. We're going to have to click through our priority this entire turn cycle, and that's not good. That's not good at all. Sulfur Falls tapped for the opponent. Slow start for Storm. We're going to Thought Scour here, see if we can grow that Goyf, get some velocity going, draw good cards. Forked Bolt, that ain't bad. Kind of makes me wish we had a Mountain. Well, there you go. Ask and you shall receive. We milled Flash Freeze. That's a bit of a bummer. play out the Goyf, and we have burn spells for days, so bring on the Brawls. Hopefully at least one of those Brawls is going to be an Electromancer, because I want Forked Bolt to be good. Ask and you shall receive. Seriously, this is nuts. And it's a sorcery, which is going to put creature and sorcery in the bin, which means this is a 4/5, and we drew Denial. We're doing it. Do we fetch? Get a second red source? We could always just grab a Steam Vents if we want it. Do that. Pay red. Take that down. 5-turn clock. 5-turn clock. Let's do it. Show this Storm player how we do when we're playing Rug. I'm not sure that first hand was a mulligan. I feel like it was. That 6, though, that we mulled into, that was straight fire. And 2 bolts, so like straight fire. Totally works. What do we got? Oh, we can't burn spell plus Denial, but I guess that's just a function of drawing a forest. We're not going to fetch yet. I'm going to wait to see what they do. Here's a Visions. Take that down. Well, I mean, we're going to let the Visions resolve. That's not nearly as scary as it could be. Get a Steam Vents. We're going to play around them having a Remand in the future. Pay Shock. Bolt this Electromancer. You don't need that. It's not important. Storm can go off without it. You're fine. I believe in our opponent. I'm sure they have the aptitude to go off without any mana accelerants in play. I believe in them. They can do it. Now we have Bolt plus Denial up. This was a nice hand. If we shock here, we can go Bolt. It gets remanded Bolt Denial. I don't know how valuable that is. It's probably less valuable than the life. So I think we're going to put this into play tapped. I do want to put it into play. 3 more turns. Come on, Goyf. Basic island for the opponent. We have a Brawl. We're also going to have a Bolt soon enough. Oh, they're not doing anything. I kind of like waiting then. Let's just go to the end step so they can't Grape Shot. Unless they're running Quicken, but that would be spicy. What do we got? It's a Dispel. Do we counter that? Do we counter the Dispel? Almost certainly, right? If Bolt resolves, that means they don't have a Brawl in play. That seems pretty good. They can still Gifts, but it's a lot harder to go off without this dude in play. As we saw in the previous game, the fact that they had a Brawl allowed that Gifts to do its thing. Otherwise, we would have been in great shape. What do we got? Thought Scour. Do we play that now? We play that now. Pay the blue. What do we got? Goyf. Well, shields down, somebody wins. I guess they could have a Grape Shot that's just enough to take out the 2 Tarmogoyfs, but I feel like we go shields down, somebody wins. They're going to go off if they can regardlessly, so I don't have cards in hand. What am I going to cast? Can't flashback anything in the graveyard. Why would you give me priority? Come on. Goyf resolves. Just let the other guy do his thing. Or her thing. Doesn't matter to me. I just don't want priority when I don't have cards. What do you got? Ritual. Let's do it. Oh, geez. This could be a big empty. We are not necessarily out of the woods. Should I just 6? I feel like I should just 6. We have literally no way of doing things. I'm going to 6. We 6'd. It's been done. No priority for us. We have given up our right to priority. Empty. Nice. That's a decent empty. Oh. Okay, that is very moderately decent for an empty. Well, our opponent's staying afloat with that. What do we do with the Snapcaster Mage? Hold it up for Denial. That seems like the best possible thing. We're going to swing with both of these Goyfs. They're probably going to give up 4 Goblin tokens to take one of them out. Possibly chump the other Goyf. I'm going to keep this Snapcaster Mage in hand instead of using it to flashback Forked Bolt, because right now it represents a stubborn Denial. And that looks really good against a Storm opponent with no accelerant and only 2 cards in hand. They'll be at 3 soon enough. Ooh, look at this. Opponent playing the long con. Works for me. Actually, that's not a bad idea. That can buy them a lot of turns. 3. Can they get more than 3 turns out of that? I don't think so. Do we cast Snapcaster Mage? I don't think so. Probably not. We're going to be more conservative than that. Well, we're not going to cast Visions. I want Snap Denial. That's sad. Well, we're going to do this. The opponent probably going to double chump. Chump and chump. If they didn't take out a Goyf last turn, they're probably not going for it this turn, especially given that they no longer have enough goblins to overcome the 5th point of toughness. Our opponent hitting too many lands. Pretty sure they had back-to-back lands there for draws. Then again, maybe they just missed some draw steps and just had them now. Or sorry, they never missed a land drop and they just had the lands the whole time. Still not going to play any of these blue spells. Just going to do this. Snap Denial, I'm telling you. Snap Denial. It's gonna be good. Yup. The opponent out of goblins. What do you got? You got 3 turns out of that empty. Was it worth it? Was it? Come on, opponent. Tell me. We're in the main. Doing stuff. It's a ritual. We're not going to go for that. We're going to go for the payoff. They have plenty of mana, so I want to Snapcaster Mage, target Stubborn Denial, counter a Gifts Ungiven or a Past in Flames. We're not going for the chump change rituals here. I want the good stuff. Past in Flames. Well, that's the good stuff. Counter that. Stubborn Denial. This might not resolve. They might have the Dispel or something in hand. Even a Remand is pretty good here. Oh, I wonder if we're dead. Oh, we could have snapped Forked Bolt last turn. Oh, that was a bad line. We should have snapped Forked Bolted. Sorry, guys. Might have blown this. Knock on wood. Oh, they're paying costs. Oh, they don't realize it's ferocious, maybe. Nope, it's a Remand. They don't have a cost reducer. They don't have a cost reducer. Do they have a land? Do they have a land? Do you have a land, opponent? It's just a Visions. Oh, man. So, on the previous turn when they have 2 goblins, we Snapcaster Mage, we Forked Bolt, we take out the 2 goblins, 2, 4, 5 Goyfs get in and we win. And we don't lose if this Visions is a Remand, Dispel, etc. Well, actually, they did have the Remand. We don't lose to this being a land, Simian Spirit Guide, something to that effect. Let's see what's up in the sideboard. Do I want Simic Charm? Probably not. Makes me sad that Shoal isn't as good as it could be. But I don't think it's worth making Shoal better. How's our Shoal for 1? 15. That's strong. Shoal for 2. 8. That's pretty good. Better than I'm used to, that's for sure. It could be better. We could have 9 if we have that Simic Charm, but that requires us to cut Mandrills, Goyf, Pyroclasm, EE, Burn Spell, Bauble, maybe a 1 CMC. But I want my Denials. I want the Spell Snare. Counters a lot of good stuff out of their deck. We're not cutting Delver. Visions. Thought Scour makes us fast. I'm going to run this back. I think cutting Simic Charm is the best thing we can do. Gonna head into game 3 on the draw. See what we can do here. How good's this hand? We've got interaction. Mandrills isn't going to come down as quickly as I would like, but I do believe this is a keep. We are highly likely to bolt something soon enough. The opponent with a cantrip. Soon as they shock with that steam vents, you know they have a cantrip. It's not information we can act on, so it doesn't actually matter. I mean, we could shoal pitch denial, but that sounds bad. If we had another 1 CMC blue spell, I could see contemplating that. Counter their thing, get an extra card in the bin. That's decent. I believe I want to play out this Flooded Strand. That seems like a good idea. We play the Flooded Strand. Now, here's the thing. I want to sequence both of these fetch lands as quickly as we can to get out a Hooting Mandrills as quickly as we can, but I also don't want to have to fetch suboptimally. If they play a cost reducer, we want to burn it on their turn. So that means we're going to have to get a Steam Vents with this Flooded Strand. I'm okay with that. If they go for a Manamorphose or a Ritual, do we just counter that? Just denial it? I don't know. Sleight of Hand gets to resolve. We're not going to go for that. Maybe we should, but I don't think so. That's going to happen. Can't stop land drops. We're going to fetch a land tapped. Play around Blood Moon? Probably not. No, not with those lands they have. They could be getting us, but I don't think we play around Blood Moon here, especially with Denial in hand. Ooh. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Bobble on top. Speed up Mandrills a bit. Possibly make it so that our turn 3 Mandrills is a little better. Okay, do we wait? Do we pop out? Do we look at ours or do we look at theirs? Looking at ours is only beneficial if we're playing this Foothills, so do we want to play Foothills? Maybe. Means we don't get double Burn Spell or Burn Spell plus Denial unless we fetch a lot, so I kind of like just shocking here. If they do resolve a Blood Moon through Denial, that means we're not going to be able to cast Mandrills. So let's just do this. I'll wait on the Bauble. That's how we'll sequence it. We can still get double red if we absolutely have to on this turn. So that's fine. We're just not going to use the Bauble yet. What do you got, opponent? Sulphur Falls entering untapped. Well, actually, so did the first Sulphur Falls this game. It was game 2 that the Sulphur Falls was tapped. If they just have straight nothing, I'm going to take a look at what I'm about to draw. Is it worth drawing? Serum Visions. How good's that? Probably pretty good. Yeah. I'll play. I'll play your Game Visions. The opponent not doing anything, actually kind of bad for us. Never mind. Just fine. Actually, is it? Do we commit a Mandrills to the board? If we don't, we're casting Visions. One of 2 plays will be had. Think we're going to shock a lot. Do that, and I think we're just going to play the Visions. Either play means we no longer have access to double blue or, well, we already got rid of double red, so that's not really a thing. We do have Shoal pitching a 1-drop, but that's not fantastic. So at this point, I think I want a Mandrills, but if they have a Remand, we're going to be really behind. So I kind of just want a Visions. Either way, we're tapping pretty low, but I think this is a lot more conservative. I would love to have a Flash Freeze, and I would love to get rid of this. Go to the opponent. I may have dug my own grave by fetching there. Fourth land for the opponent. It feels like that was a mistake. If we didn't go for that, we'd be able to go for Bolt, if necessary. Bolt plus Denial. That seems pretty good. Is the opponent waiting? Because that... Oh, thank you. Thank you, oh merciful opponent. We're going to delve away the entire graveyard, but not before shocking. We definitely want to shock. Do I play Mandrills or Delver? Delver requires me to tap a blue source, but Mandrills is really weak to Remand. Mandrills is really weak to Remand. How long are we going to play around Remand? How long? If we play out Mandrills, we have access to triple blue. That's pretty good. I think we're just going to do this. We can always shoal pitch Flash Freeze. The opponent's playing very conservatively. I kind of want to follow suit. This looks like a gift. Maybe the opponent's just extremely patient. I do think that fetch we made last turn was bad. Here's a Gifts Ungiven, and I do believe we just denial this. We still have Flash Freeze or Bolt plus Shoal Pitch Flash Freeze, so I don't mind tapping a couple of blue sources. Gifts is basically the prime denial target, it and Past in Flames probably. So I'm pretty okay with hitting that. We're going to untap. See if Delver transforms. Both of us on 4 lands. That's neat. Turbo Xerox hitting land drops. Bolt. Ooh. We're going to have to start loosing these soon. Actually, with exactly 3 bolts in hand, if they all sequentially go face, this Delver's a turn 3 clock. Don't think we're going to be playing out that Mandrills. Actually, do we play Mandrills into Remand? It doesn't cost us much. Costs us the size of future Tarmogoyfs. Think I can live with that. It resolved, no Remand. Can't stop a Gifts, they don't have a Gifts. Okay. Well, now I just feel like I'm in a pretty good spot. Knock on some wood. Okay. Do we interact? Or do we let resolve? I kind of want to hold Flash Freeze for bigger and better things. We also have 3 Lightning Bolts in hand. On the flip side, giving them access to stuff is bad. Think we just counter this. Means we're going to have trouble countering the eventual Past in Flames, but we also might just kill them before that happens. If the opponent goes end step here, we're going to Bolt Face. Efficient use of mana is something I like. Here's a Dispel, that's fine. Electromancer's going to resolve. They're probably going to cast a spell. They're not yet. We'll go end step. Bolt this. That's the bolt they knew about. Untap. Mana Leak, amazing draw. Are we just drawing the right cards right now? Because I feel like game 2 and 3 we just drew the right cards. We're going to get in here for 7. Lightning Bolt going to still make this a 2-turn clock. I love Reach. Do you guys love Reach? You gotta love Reach. You're watching me play a tempo deck. What do we got? We have Shoal for 2. We have Shoal for 2 Hardcast. We have Bolt, Bolt, Leak. Okay, I have to say, I feel really good when I have Bolt plus Leak. I don't think we're going to cast this Shoal. I think it's actually tempo negative to cast Shoal, because we're unable to cast as many spells. We're going to Bolt Face here. That is if they go in step. It's a Brawl. Do we try to Mana Leak it? I think so. If we get them to overextend on getting this Brawl to survive, we probably just kill them. And if we counter this Brawl, they can't really do anything. If they have Remanding our Mana Leak, we can cast it again. If they have Dispel, they can start Ritualing. But we're going to Bolt the Brawl in response to the first Ritual. So I think all of those outcomes are fine. I think I'd rather just not let them have 2 mana untapped with the Brawl in play. In that case, they get to Ritual in response to our first bolt. Well, actually, no, we let the Baral resolve. They go for a ritual, that's one discounted ritual. We bolt. They ritual in response to discounted rituals. Baral goes down, they have 6 mana in pool. Manamorphose, Cantrip, Manamorphose, Ritual, Gifts, Past in Flames. Who knows what could happen in that scenario? I'd rather just deal with the threat as it comes because of the spot we're in. Here's a ritual in response, that's fine. Oh, they're going to pay for leak. They do that sometimes. I have seen that before. I believe we lost the match where I first learned they could do that. Here's a ritual in response, that's fine. So they're going to have mana left over. Not bad. Another ritual, okay. They're going to have a decent amount of mana. Then again, we have bolts. So I think... Oh, are they splicing now? Is that what this is? Did they split? No, they just had 4 rituals in hand. Okay. It's fine. They have 1 card. It's alright. They're going to pay. Or maybe they won't. They will. Baral resolves. 1 card in hand. What is it? Grape Shot, I assume? I imagine you Grape Shot defensively here. Storm count is 7. They can deal with both of our threats. That's pretty good. That's pretty good indeed. Not a bad defensive Grape Shot. I believe we're going to bolt this Baral and hold up Shoal for 2. Don't think we could have stopped 4 rituals plus a Grape Shot. We let the Baral resolve. They ritual, we bolt, they ritual. Baral goes down 6 mana. 2 more rituals happen. That gets them to how much mana? Then again, we could try mana leaking one of the rituals, but that still lets them chain a bunch of rituals. What do we got? Mandrills, 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 Delver, Delver. They Mandrills 5 times. They don't want to hit us in the face, I guess. That's all going to happen. Now, we could bolt the opponent twice here in an attempt to top deck a burn spell or a Snapcaster Mage and just straight up win the game. But I think I'd rather take out this Baral, because the opponent's going to untap, and if they have something like a Past in Flames or a Gifts Ungiven off the top, they're going to chain a bunch of spells with this Baral in play. So let's do that. We're going to be safer. Safety first, kids. Safety first. Mandrills. Well, do I care at all to Shoal for 1? If they have a cantrip, actually, I might. Probably not. Let's go with no. Let's assume we don't want to Shoal for 1, and instead, we want Mandrills to be good. Sorry, we want our graveyard to be better. I think that's more relevant than shoaling a cantrip. Especially because if we don't shoal the cantrip, we get to shoal for 2 after. Using the shoal is a cost, because it means you no longer have shoal. Thought Scour, good pickup. In for 4, over to you. Lethal on the table, what do you got? Lethal plus Bolt plus Shoal plus Scour. What'll it be, Storm? And they scoop. That'll do for match 3 with Chart and Shoal Delver. We are now 2-1 in this league. Knock on wood, quite promising. I'm feeling good about it. I like the deck. I just like Delver. What can I say? I like Delver. Shoal is a card I like a lot. I felt recently that Snare is just better, but I've heard a lot of people tell me I'm wrong, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Shoal is just where it's at. I would go back to what I was talking about the metagame earlier with Jeskai Tempo, Storm, Humans, Tron, and Affinity, and relate that to Shoal. Actually, I will very briefly. Shoal looks pretty good here. It's probably better than Snare against Jeskai Tempo, at least game 1 when we're going for more of a get you killed plan because it can counter Path, while also sometimes countering a Snapcaster Mage. Shoaling a Snapcaster Mage doesn't feel as bad as shoaling any other random removal spell, say, because Snapcaster Mage is a 2-for-1, and Shoal 2-for-1's us. So letting Snapcaster Mage resolve gets the opponent a 2-for-1, and Shoaling Snapcaster Mage gets the opponent a 2-for-1 because we have to exile a card. So it's basically the same thing on cards, except it's way better for the board that we shoal ourselves. So I kind of like that aspect of it. So Shoal's still good at countering Snap, and it just counters a bunch of removal spells in addition, so it's entirely possible I just haven't seen the light until now, and Shoal is great against those kinds of decks. Against Storm, it lets you hold up counters while tapping low, which is something great. Against humans, I think it's way better than Snare, because if you Shoal an Aether Vial, you're in a great spot, whereas if they have Vial or Cavern of Souls, you're not getting much value off your Spell Snare, if at all. Against Tron, it's probably better because it counters Map, sometimes Relic. And against Affinity, I do think I like Snare a bit more because we're basically never countering ones, but maybe you'll hit a Rogue Galvanic Blast. So Shoal's not the worst there, and it can still hit their 2s. So, you know, good on tempo, and if it's good on tempo, I like it. There you go. I'll probably make a video talking about the metagame more as it develops, and at least after this league. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope to see you in the next one.